going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. We got a fun show coming up for you guys today as Stefon Diggs talked about the Vikings-Bills trade from 2020 as he gave some insight that maybe the Vikings did him dirty. And then on the second half of today's show, we're going to be answering questions from you guys as a part of our weekly live show. Absolutely love this part of the week where I just get to chop it up with you guys and talk about your favorite football team. But if you guys could, my Twitter is @PatSeeps, and I got the link for this in the comments and description of today's show. If you guys could give me a follow over there, I would really appreciate it. Trying to up my Twitter game. Got my bosses telling me that I need to get to 1,000 followers. So if you guys could help me out, that's the handle, @PatSeeps. And if you guys just want more Vikings content in your life, give me a follow over there. But, Stefon Diggs. Stefon. He was doing an interview this past week, and somebody asked him about the Vikings sending him to Buffalo. This is what he said. He said, "I don't know if they sent me to Buffalo with the most kindness, with the most great intent, but all's well that ends well. When I got to Buffalo, Josh Allen, who is still my guy, he embraced me, and we spent a lot of time. And I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him." Now, I want to focus in on that first part. I don't know if they sent me to Buffalo with the most kindness, with the most great intent. Now, Stefon, I just disagree with you. The Vikings sent you to a situation where you had a young and up-and-coming quarterback in Josh Allen, who is undisputed a top 5 quarterback in the league. Maybe he wasn't that at the time, but he still showed promise. They sent you to a place where you would be the number one option. And that is the thing he was griping about the most when he was here in Minnesota. It was, too much Adam Thielen, because in the year before, the 2019 season, Thielen broke the record for most 100-yard games to start off the year. And I think Diggs was looking at that, feeling a little salty. And it gets me this. Diggs never seems happy. Like, even when he was at Buffalo for the past couple of seasons, you have a top 3 quarterback in Josh Allen. The whole offense is built around you, and he still found reasons to complain about the situation he was in, hence why now he is now with the Houston Texans, and I can already see it now. C.J. Stroud has a couple big-time throws to Tank Dell, and Tank Dell has a couple of big-time games. I could see number 14, or, actually number 1 now, getting a little unhappy. But let's take a look back at the Stefon Diggs trade where the Vikings did send him to Buffalo. So this was the total haul that the Vikings did receive. It was a 2020 first-round pick number 22 from the Buffalo Bills, where, they selected a pretty good receiver, if I do say so myself, in Justin Jefferson. But on top of that, they also had 3 other picks from that year's draft, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. And then, obviously, the Bills, they received Diggs and a 7th-round pick. So, I used to call this the most win-win trade in NFL history, but the Bills didn't even make an AFC championship game with him on the roster. I think the Vikings, no doubt, won this trade looking back on it. You got the better receiver on a younger and cheaper deal. You also got more draft capital as well. But let's take a look back at the time Stefon did spend in Minnesota. So, he was awesome, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, when people ask me, or if you would have asked me 3-4 years ago about who's my favorite, or who's my favorite Vikings player, I probably would have said Diggs. I love the celebration when he would, hit the can, you dig it, and he would start digging into the ground. And, the numbers he put up are ridiculous with the Vikings. In 70 games played, 4,600 yards, averaging 66 yards per game, had 30 touchdowns for Minnesota. And I hate to do this. Hey, it's my man Trace Gerard is producing today's show, diehard Saints fan, but I had to show my favorite play in Vikings history. It was the Minneapolis Miracle. I remember watching this game as, you look back on it, the Vikings were up 21-0, and then Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara was catching wheel routes on the top of Eric Kendricks. Like, it was all burning down quickly, but Stefon Diggs turned it around with 10 seconds left, and I can just hear it in my head. Diggs, sideline, touchdown, coming in from Joe Buck. Truly, truly one of my favorite memories, if not my favorite memory from being a Vikings fan. So I know Diggs, maybe you call him a diva now. You can call him whatever name you want. But in my opinion, no doubt about it, he is a Vikings legend. But you guys let me know. controversial question here. Is Stefon Diggs a Vikings legend? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comment section. I'll make this the pin comment on today's show because I'm really curious to see what the fan base has to say about this. So let me know your thoughts. Is Stefon Diggs a Vikings legend? Y for yes or N for no. Dum24 coming in saying, did you see this stuff about JJ McCarthy holding out of training camp? So I did not want to talk about this just because don't believe it whatsoever, but this came from a pretty popular Twitter account, Pretty Ricky, and he has nailed a lot of NFL scoops this offseason and specifically related to contract disputes. He's been on top of it, but he tweeted out the other day this week, and he said if JJ McCarthy does not get his signing bonus all up front, he will be holding out of Vikings training camp. And the reason I laugh at this is, I actually am a big Pretty Ricky fan, I will say so. But the reason I laugh about this is nothing like what JJ McCarthy is built about. Like, I don't think him as a 21-year-old rookie is going to perform a holdout just because he doesn't get his entire signing bonus up front. And I do want to make this note. The Vikings have never given a rookie their signing bonus all up front. And people are kind of freaking out about that. They're like, oh, will they do that with JJ? Like, they should. Very similar to the Houston Texans last season. They have never given a rookie their signing bonus all up front until C.J. Stroud, and they did so for him. So JJ's due $12.8 million in signing bonus. I think he's going to get the whole thing. But, yeah, dumb. I did see that tweet floated out there. But, hey, maybe you want to get a J.J. McCarthy jersey because I guarantee you he will be at training camp July 27th. And if you guys want to get one before then, head to this link, chatsports.com/Vikings jersey. I'll put this link for you guys in the comment section and description on today's show. Awesome. He's rocking the number 9. This is going to be one of the hottest jerseys at US Bank Stadium this season. I already got mine. Can't wait to wear it for the watch parties. So if you guys want to get yours as well, that's the link right there, chatsports.com/Vikings jersey. Let's kick it to Rocky here, the cutest puppy I have ever seen, saying, what do you think their record will be within the division? Good question here. So within the division, let's just start off with the Chicago Bears. I think the Vikings could split with Chicago. People think Chicago is going to be a way better football team. I just disagree. And I think a lot of that has to do with people think Caleb Williams will be, significantly better than whoever is the starting quarterback for Minnesota. But let's just say they split there. Lions is an uphill battle. I think they're probably going to drop both to Detroit. But the team I think that's going to come in last place in this division is the Green Bay Packers. I think Jordan Love's a good quarterback, but we've only seen 9 good games from him. I don't think he's proven as a franchise quarterback just yet. I want to see more data. I want to see more film instead of just a 2.5-month run. So I'll go 3-3. I think we split with the Bears, sweep the Packers, and lose twice to the Lions. Max Cardozo coming in saying, I feel like the Vikings should trade for Denzel Ward. What do you think about that? Great question, Max. Thank you so much for tuning in. Denzel Ward. High-end talent. Would definitely fit that, cornerback 1 mold. Just the only thing is, I think you're probably going to have to give up, a premium draft pick to land him as, the Browns value him, really, really highly. So, I would love for the Vikings to do it, but if they're going to trade for a top-end corner, I would rather have them just, go all in instead of, trying to save a round on a pick and going out and getting, a guy like Denzel Ward. But, Max, really do appreciate it. But my man Harvey Buxton coming in with the next question saying, what happens if JJ is a bust? What would you do? I'll be very disappointed. I would get up on here and I would own it. I would say I was wrong about JJ McCarthy. No doubt about it. But Harvey, I just don't think that's going to be the case. And, what would the Vikings do if McCarthy is a bust? You reset it and try again. And that's why I was so happy with the Vikings offseason, because they got themselves out of this purgatory zone. Because if you would have ran it back with Kirk Cousins, Vikings would have won about 7 to 11 games this past season. No doubt about it. But now with J.J. McCarthy, you probably limited your ceiling on this year. But now for the next couple of years, with a quarterback on a rookie deal, the Vikings are going to be able to put a insane roster around J.J. McCarthy. So, what happens if he's a bust? I'll get up on the show and I'll own it and say I was wrong about JJ. But I'll tell you what, I'm very confident I won't be wrong about that one. Max coming in saying, I really think the Vikings should trade for DeMarcus Lawrence because I think he would be a good mentor for Dallas Turner. What do you feel about this? I like him as a player. DeMarcus Lawrence has been great throughout his NFL career on the older side now, but I think in terms of a mentor for Dallas Turner, I think he's already got a bunch of great ones in that locker room, especially on the defensive side of football. Like Harrison Smith, even though totally different positions, safety and edge rusher, but just having a guy on the defensive side of the field to be in your ear and tell you what it takes to be a elite NFL player. I already think he has it. And plus with the edge position for Minnesota, you already got a bunch of dudes there. People forget about a guy like Andre Carter, the UDFA out of Army last season, where he is, I don't want to call it a guarantee he makes the roster this season, but I'm right there of calling it because dating back to 2 drafts ago, before the start of 2 football seasons ago, Andre Carter was a projected first-round pick, but his production tailed off. He wasn't the same guy, caused him to go undrafted, but now all the coaches are raving about him throughout the Vikings offseason program. So I think the Vikings are good at the edge department. I actually think they have one of the better groups here in the NFL. Totally not a pro gamer saying, do you think Sam Darnold will have the best year of his career with the Minnesota Vikings? No doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about it. I think Sam Darnold, and, I've said this so many times here on the channel, it's he hasn't had a fair shot, in my opinion. I don't think New York with the Jets, he had a fair shot there. Going to Carolina, where he actually played his best stretch of football, that was not even, close to the same roster the Vikings are going to be able to put around him this year. You got an offensive-minded head coach, 2 great weapons at receiver, great running back, a talented defense, a overall great coaching staff. Even if Sam Darnold just plays the same as he has throughout his NFL career, his numbers are going to go up because of the guys around him. So I think Sam Darnold, and maybe I am drinking too much purple Kool-Aid right now. I'm going to call it right here. Vikings go 10-7. They're a wild card team, come second in the division, and they are in the playoffs. And we'll have to wait and see on matchups if they end up winning that one. But I think Sam Darnold's going to lead the Vikings to offs this regular season. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, if you guys could give me a skull down in the comments section, I would really appreciate it. Give me a skull if you bleed purple and gold. And as always, guys, that's a Twitter handle right there, @PatSieps. If you guys want more Vikings content on your Twitter timeline, give me a follow over there, and it'll give you guys a follow right back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's mailbag. See you guys next time. As always, skull